Okay, so let's talk about your fave, my fave, everyone's fave, female rapper Megan Thee Stallion. And today I want to talk about the three ingredients that are missing from her career that's preventing her from being considered as the best female rapper of all time. Number one, a classic album. So, put your pitchforks down. I'm not saying she doesn't make good albums. I'm simply saying she lacks a classic. You can tell me in the comments what you consider a classic album to be, but to me, it's a cohesive body of work that is appreciated by the majority of persons that have listened to it. So it's almost like if you were to do statistics on who likes it, it's something that most persons enjoyed, right? And it's often released when the artist is at their peak or like peri-peak, like around their peak, whether that be slightly before the peak or slightly after the peak. And the reason this is important is Megan has wonderful bodies of work that were put out before she became this mega superstar global smash hit number one record type girl. So we need an album now that is something that the general population outside of her fans, including me, I enjoy her albums, that everyone can be able to say, yes, that is a great body of work. I think because she lacks this, some people are able to say she can't sell 100K or she's not an album artist and all of that. And I think all she's lacking is perhaps more persons in the song making process to help collaborate with those hooks and those choruses. Point number two, incorrect single selection. So Megan, the album, right? The self-titled album that was put out this year. I think she chose the wrong singles. And I think if she chose different singles, this album would have been appreciated more. And it would start teetering on her possibly having a classic or having a body of work that the general population has heard and appreciates, not just her fans. And the reason I say the singles is what hindered her from people loving this album is because Cobra and Hiss should have been album tracks. It's a self-titled album. The introspective tracks should have been the ones that we heard for the first time when playing the album, right? The singles should have been somewhere, like I have 4 single options, right? We can keep Boa. Boa can be a single. That's cute. Or it could not be. Where the girls at, or whatever that song is, that could have been a single, earlier this year. That would have been a cute little summer bop. Bass should have been a single. And Mamushi should have been a single. The first time I heard Mamushi, I knew it was a hit. Instantly. Another song that I think is a hit, but I don't know if everyone else feels that way, is Okatu Hot Girl. That instantly gave hit. So if I was to choose 3, it would be Mamushi, Okatu Hot Girl, and Bass, B-A-S. And I think those 3 singles would do well with a budget and creative direction that Boa, Cobra, and Hiss got. That level of production on those 3 tracks, and if those were released before the album came out, and then when people turned the album on, that's the first time they heard Hiss, there is no way this album would not have been received better. That's my opinion, child, and I'm sticking to it. Point number 3, men just don't like her. Now, before you start throwing pitchforks at me and saying who cares what men like, well, I mean, you don't have to care who men like, but the numbers are going to reflect when men don't like you. And let me tell you why. It's not because I think men are greater consumers, but it's because it's going to be hard to be the king or queen of a genre and only have one portion of fans enjoying your music. If your target audience is rap fans, right? And only female and gay males rap fans enjoy your music, then your numbers will never give 300,000 in the first week for album sales. because your target demographic is smaller than other persons that you're competing with. So I think personally there's a need for a rebrand or changing the marketing of Megan Thee Stallion that will allow for her to get a larger straight male audience. Because without that, her album sales will always reflect that lack of interest from her opposite gender. Right? So I personally think that those are the 3 ingredients Megan Thee Stallion needs to be considered the queen of rap. Love y'all. Please like and follow.